Hey there guys, LOI again, and I'm back with some more Persona 4 Arena. So, I've debated for a while. I've told you...
The persona you have acquired. It is a side of you that shows itself when you face the world around you. Perhaps you can think of it as a facade of determination you wear to face various difficulties in life.
Okay, so I told you last time that I am going to go for a Persona 3 character. And since there's only 3 of them, I'll do all 3 of them. So, I've decided long and hard about this. And I'm going to go with Akihiko Sanada.
I'll force my way through.
So, let's see what Akihiko's story has for us.
I'm a long way from home.
Yeah, you are, big guy. Yeah, you are. Ever since I left Japan, I've been constantly searching for places to test my strength. Before I knew it, I wound up on the ass end of the globe. As I walked down a dark alley, a dry wind blows. I can see people inside the buildings, but I don't sense any life here. Just because it's quiet doesn't mean that there's anything close to safe. That doesn't mean that it's anything close to safe, though. Well, it just shows that not everywhere in the world is affluent. I sense a hostile presence from somewhere. I glance around and see 2 thugs smirking at me with narrow eyes. Our gazes meet, and those thugs, a seedy-looking large man and a thin man, stand before me.
Yo, bro, haven't seen your mug around here. Lucky thing we noticed you. Come on, man, spare us some change.
Hell no.
We just need a little, man. We'll double it in no time in that gambling den over there.
Uh-huh. And if you don't pay up?
You're in my way. Move it.
The thugs are momentarily stunned by my answer, but their shock quickly dissolves into anger.
And we were being friendly. I should have pulled this on you at the start.
Is it a gun? The large man's words produce a speller as he simultaneously whips out what he believes to be his trump card. It's a gun, of course. He waves the muzzle in front of my face in a threatening manner.
Body like that, and you gotta resort to a gun? Pathetic.
Truly it is.
To begin with, do I really look like I carry that much money on me?
Ain't you Japanese? Most Asians stupid enough to come waltzing around here are loaded. Come on, give me everything you got, or it's gonna be your brains on the floor.
Why does he sound like sort of like a Hispanic? Just slightly, if you listen closely. The large man is quite short-tempered. I wonder if his mood swings are due to the lack of calcium in his diet. Oh yeah, I forgot that about Akihiko. I guess you really don't get to choose what you eat when you live in a place like this. The large man apparently realizes that he can simply take my cash when I'm dead, and his fat finger squeezes the trigger before I can reply. A gunshot rings out and sends a shockwave through the alley's dry air.
Son of a bitch!
The large man stands stupefied. He recollects himself and throws a few more rounds my way.
What kind of hit him?
It's because I'm dodging his shots, not the bullets. They're obviously more faster than the human body. When a slow man uses a gun, the problem is that he has to point the gun where he wants to send the bullet, and I can see him doing that. I'm just reading his gun's movements and getting out of his line of fire before he shoots. It's that simple. I bet he thinks there's something wrong with his gun or that he's not aiming well. Some people. I think he's the embedment of the phrase, a big head and a little wit. He never realizes what's happening. I dodge his hail of bullets and quickly close the distance of my attempted murderer. I get a good look at his face, contorting in fear and confusion. Checkmate. I strike once, burying my fist into the Porchin's gut. His body lifts off the ground for a brief moment before it collapses to the ground backwards. The massive impact lifts a huge cloud of dust, and the man doesn't stir from his place on the ground.
You should be more careful who you pick your fights with.
Do you see this hood of mine? Look at this hood. Does this look like a guy who doesn't know how to beat your ass?
You bastard!
Then man pulls something from his pocket. I hear a loud click of a switchblade being unfolded. He drops into a crouch, coiled and ready to strike.
At least you know the basics.
The reprober extends his arm and thrusts the dully shining knife towards me in a telegraphed attack. I get inside his arm and swipe the attack angle of the blade out of the way with my right hand and connect with my left hand under his jaw. Since his attack was the most obvious fashion, I repel the attack with the most obvious counter. The uppercut lands flush. The man is cast into the air as he utters an undignified scream.
I gotta hand it to you for not abandoning your pal.
Sheesh. I ain't come on a journey to waste my time getting into scraps that don't even rate as good warm-up. Although honestly, pretty much all that I had encountered so far in my training was a continuous morass of tedious quarrels. Now, up ahead. Huh? I noticed that the dust from the fat man's land has gotten on my cape. I brush it off. This is the only mark that I took from the encounter. Bodily injuries will heal over time, even if they're left alone. But the same can't be said about one's clothes.
Damn, that was impressive stuff.
Bartender. Someone speaks to me out of the blue. I glance over and see a man who looks like a bartender hesitantly emerge from the nearby bar. It seems he was watching the whole thing unfold.
What a fight! And against a man with a gun? Are you a ninja or something?
Fighter, boxer, yes.
Nah, that's not important. We're the police. I'd have thought all the gunfire would catch their attention.
The bartender responds to my bewilderment by laughing in an even more dumbfounded manner and shrugs.
Things like that happen all the time. The only authority here is the cartel. Everyone who's not connected dies in poverty. That's been how it works for over 50 years.
50 years? Christ.
You see.
Those who are not connected. Upon hearing that, a bitter feeling wells up inside of me. Everything in this world relies on connections. The connections are just another form of power. People say that what's most important can't be obtained by power, but I figured that means the other 99.9% of everything is simply a matter of power. That includes one's lifespan. And at that time, the lifespan of those close to you as well.
Hey, why not stop in for a drink? It's on the house. Seeing what you did made my day.
The bartender's cheerful voice snaps me out of my reminiscence.
Are you sure? The cartel you mentioned might not like that.
Hey, I'll get off easy compared to you. All I did was offer you a drink, not beat the hell out of their goons.
A drink, huh?
Do you have the good stuff in stock?
Huh?
It's hard to obtain that certain something around here. I haven't had any for a couple days now.
I hope that you guys know what he's talking about, because I do, and it's funny.
Actually, I'm starting to go into withdrawal.
What is it you're talking about, mister? Listen, I run a clean bar.
Protein. I need a double shot of protein.
Give me that protein.
Huh? Pro?
Make it quick. It's only half as effective 30 minutes after I've burned some calories.
Sorry, I don't know that brand. Is that some kind of sake?
No. It's alright if you don't have any.
Sheesh, what am I thinking? You never know unless you try. But it was pretty stupid of me to expect that a bartender would, in a dive bar like this, would have protein drinks. I shake my head and collect myself. When I finally return to Japan, I'll have all the protein my muscle fibers are crying out for. That sounds great just thinking about it. Mountains and protein, mountains of protein, protein as far as the eye can see. It's protein junkie, yeah. My daydream of what a world of infinite protein would be like are interrupted. I take out my cell phone and see that I've received an email. There are 3 important things on the sub-display. The first thing is the icon that tells me that it's an international roaming service is in effect. Second, the name Kirijo. And the last is the word urgent.
Looks like opportunity's knocking sooner than I expected.
I can't hide my smirk. The fact that the message is urgent means that I've been summoned for a mission.
Fine with me. I haven't found any opponents worth my time here anyway.
Plus, the training journey I'm on was preparation for these missions. I was on my way to show that I would be suited for taking on these special missions professionally. It seems that either my plan is working, or that this is fate telling me that it's time to display my results, and my results has come.
I can't wait to see what kind of challenge there is in store for me now.
I imagine what this unknown enemy could be, and thrust my left fist proudly towards the foreign winds. I can't keep my body from trembling with excitement, and I plant my fist into my right palm. That's Akihiko for you guys. That's Akihiko. Early morning, May 3rd, Japan. At the airport. After a flight that took over half a day, I arrived in Japan. Every time I fly, it always strikes me how cramped the seats are and how boring long flights are. Considering that we're being placed in a hypoxic environment, it's a waste not to equip the seats with pec desk or give us access to some cardio equipment. You're on a plane. That's not safe, dude. As I head to the arrival lobby, while thinking about my ideal airline, I hear something I haven't heard in a while. A newscaster reporting in my mother tongue.
Good morning. It's May 3rd, Constitution Memorial Day. Our top story today is an update on the hijacking 2 days ago. 5 men attempted a daring hijacking of a domestic airline, the first such incident in Japan in the 21st century. Police began their official interrogation of the arrested suspects this morning. But all depositions have been vague so far, with suspects complaining of muddled memories. Psychiatric exams are being considered.
That must be the incident she mentioned in her email.
Most likely. 2 days ago in Japan, a jumbo jet bound for Kagoshima was hijacked by a group of 5 men. The hijacking attempt was quickly dealt with because of the hijackers' half-hearted planning, but there's a big issue. Unbeknownst to the public, the passengers of the flight that was hijacked was going to have a very important piece of cargo loaded onto it. During the confusion surrounding the hijacking investigation, The cargo seems to have been stolen before it was loaded onto the plane. The hijacking was just a smokescreen for the real crime. Using a hijacking as a distraction for a simple cargo theft is pretty daring, but it's also desperate and risky. My mission is to retrieve that cargo from whomever wanted it so badly. This isn't a situation that can just be left to ordinary policemen. This cargo is extremely dangerous, and the retrieval has to be done discreetly due to its sensitive nature. I look away from the monitor and begin walking again. My cell phone immediately begins to ring as if the caller was watching me the entire time. The name is Mitsuru Kirijo, appearing on the sub display. Mitsuru Kirijo. She's the one who summoned me here for this mission. I didn't tell her any details about my return flight, but she must have found the information on her own and called after learning my flight's arrival. She's still as prepared as ever.
It's me.
It's been a long time, Akihiko. I'm sorry to call you back on such short notice.
Hey!
Don't worry about it. I was at a good stopping point.
Mitsuru has greater standing in the group than I, but we've been classmates since middle school, and she fought alongside me in my biggest battle. I have a feeling that the only reason we were able to pull through such an ordeal was that we helped each other back then.
So, who's our next enemy?
Don't be so impatient. You received the brief I sent you, right? What I didn't say directly in it is that the stolen cargo was from Ergo Research.
I figured it would be Kirijo Group related, with you having to call me back.
Most ordinary people in Japan would have at least heard of the name Kirijo. The Kirijo Group, a large company, one of the few within Japan that can boost a large market share overseas. Their influence is so ever present that they touch many aspects of a typical citizen's daily life. Mitsuru is part of that organization. In fact, she is the only daughter of its founding family. She grew up with untold responsibilities and expectations, and has been forced to navigate social situation even since she was young. That is why she has a refined personality, maturity beyond her years, and strong leadership skills. Although the same circumstances also expose her to occasional surprising lapse into naivete.
What was inside this cargo?
The 5th generation anti-shadow suppression weapon, Labris.
Anti-shadow weapon? Does that mean...
Yes, she's one of Aigis' sister units.
Ah.
She was sealed at the time of the robbery, but we think it's very likely that she's been activated by now.
I wonder who stole her.
Which means there's a good chance there'll be a fight. Alright. Yeah, this would be too much for the normal authorities.
Very.
Sounds like it'll be right up my alley.
The man who ran the group 2 generations ago. Oh god. Katsuo Kirijo. He was the founder of the group and also Mitsuru's grandfather. Around 10 years ago, the certain research that man was performing brought about a huge disruption to this world. The forces that created the disruptions were known as shadows. We're getting into the meat and bones of it, guys. I guess the best way I could describe them would be to say that they are monsters incarnated from the darkness in people's hearts. In any case, There's something completely absurd like that. Kitsu Kirijo doing ergo research in what would later be known as the infamous Kirijo Ergonomics Lab to repeatedly perform inhumane experiments. He was artificially drawing out shadows in an attempt to gain power beyond what mortal man should have. But the experiment failed due to the final stages. What remained after the big explosion were over 50 casualties and a distortion in the world that can never be repaired. Normal people are completely unable to sense this distortion at all, and yet the same distortion could cause the entire world to collapse. 3 years ago, Mitsuru and I, along with other friends, devoted ourselves to fight in order to end the threat of the collapse. The bonds and precious memories I gained from them are engraved upon my heart, and I haven't faded that to this day. It hasn't faded to this day. Oh.
Fighting is not our first option, but I'd be more reassured with you there. We have a general idea of where it was taken, the Inaba area, where there were reports of suspected shadow activity last year.
Okay, I'll meet up with you at the actual location.
Yay!
Are you heading directly there? You never change. Let me know if you need anything and I'll make the arrangements.
Protein, that's all.
Protein.
What? No, it's better I don't ask. I'll send you the precise location later. Sorry to call when you just returned from a trip, but I'm relying on your assistance.
Rely all you need.
You went to a lot of trouble to create the Shadow Operatives. I won't do anything to tarnish the name. I'll see you there.
The Shadow Operatives, that organization I'm a part of. We're a joint task force comprised of the Kirijo group and the police. Officially, we don't exist. Our main mission is to deal with shadow-related cases that the police are incapable of handling. And our objective is to prevent or minimize the collateral damage caused by shadows. Shadows can only be defeated by persona users. Mitsuru, myself, and many of the members belong to the Shadow Operatives have personas and knowledge about them. Mitsuru's fully dedicated herself to prevent Kirijo's tainted legacy from falling into the wrong hands. That is her. No, it is the shared duty of all of us in the group. I noticed that I've unconsciously formed my hands into a fist. I have an email from Mitsuru giving me the details on the meeting location. As usual, she's thoroughly planned this out.
Inaba.
A smile appears on my face, an opportunity to use all the skills and strength I've been honing. I will commit every fiber of my being to fulfill the duty I've been given. I couldn't ask for more. Yes, I would like to place a bookmark there. Nice, that was a lot of reading. And I think I'll end it here, guys. Anyway, like and favorite if you enjoyed. Subscribe to become part of the archives, and I'll see you all later. Peace.